Right.
Oh, Enrico, there's a security alert against you. It said, look, security alert, Enrico. What does that mean? All right, so Enrico is my lifelong professional partner, and he founded A Point Dental in Wantirna South in Victoria. He was from New York City originally, and Italian who lived in America, went back to Italy, set up his own lab. He created a change in every place that he lived, and finally he decided Melbourne was going to be his long-term home. And did you have your boys here? Yeah. And then the last 14 odd years, we've been working together to make these widgets. So come on down, Enrico.
Yep.
Let's give it up for Enrico.
I'm limping a little bit because I tried to play soccer.
So we created these appliances. We've modified them from other sources. The lower is my own appliance.
Yep.
And we found ways of securing them so that they would be as stable as fixed appliances, but have the benefit of huge bulk of acrylic to trick the mouth into thinking that the tongue is resting against it. Right? The body responds to stimulus. We're just tricking the body into believing it's doing the right thing. So that's why we have bulky acrylic. We expand enormous amounts because we're expanding both arches. We are able to reopen space when space has been lost because we're dealing with young children. We have retainers that allow for erupting permanent teeth and guiding them when they're easiest to guide. I can move a premolar 8 millimeters in pure translation because I can hook the approximating wire right at the gingival line. So I'm hitting the center of mass as opposed to bracketing really up top and dragging the crown but leaving the root behind. And here's the secret. An erupting premolar hasn't got a complete root. It's mostly crown and a bit of root. So it's so much easier to translate things if I need to, or hold them back or push them down.
So can I say something? Katrina asked a question before. Katrina, that's the one. See the hooks here?
To touch
That's the one. That's exactly. It's just the one like that. Only that hook. She asked that.
So these are the designs that I came up with, and I said, Enrico, can you make this? And he said, get real. And then I'd redesign it. He says, yeah, I can do that. And I said, but it keeps falling out. And he says, oh, let's try this. So we played around with it over the last 10 years until we got it right. And when we got it right is when I started to teach. All right, because I don't want to teach you something that doesn't work all the time. I don't want to teach you anything that puts you in danger, puts the patient in danger. My job is to hold you back so that you don't overextend your reach, so that every case is successful. That's the goal. Like, how many crowns would you cut if most of them ended up with root canals? Not that many. How many would you cut if none of them ended up with root canals? Heaps.
These are actual cases. These are science.
So this is the laboratory.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he provides a service that reaches out around the globe. You can send him STL files, you can send him impressions and models, and he'll create something for you.
You can't just send work to a lab, whatever lab you send to, it doesn't matter. I'm not the type of person that just accepts your work. You got to work with me. And you got to tell me what I'm doing wrong. You have to tell me what I'm doing right. That's all. That's all. It's simple. I don't see the face. I only see a model. Do you want to show me the face? Send me photos. But there's nothing much I can do, even if you send me photos, because I work on models. So work with me. I have a sample. I don't need to put you on the spot. Louisa Sturgeon, Dr. Louisa Sturgeon, sorry. She does amazing work, but because she works with me, constantly texting me. How you going, Enrico? What do you think of this? Or what do you think of that? Leslie, he's very young. He's a young lad. So don't just send me work. Just work with me. And if you need to ask a clinical question, got the best here. It's simple as that. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't.
So we can access Enrico's work in the price list. So reach out to him and open a channel of communication, and he can help you with ortho things. Do you do any non-ortho things?
No.
Yeah,
no.
so just all things ortho.
That's all I know how to do.
Some TMD stuff.
TMD, yeah, the occlusal splints that I have, because I bought in a product called Clear Splint. Very fast, some of you might know it. It's not it's a composite.
From the US of A.
It is from the US. It's a thermoplastic. You put it in hot water, and it looks exactly like an acrylic. I have it upstairs. A lot of people use it. The splints, I've made one for Simon some few times.
3 times because he lost it 3 times.
Oh my God, this kid. Anyway, yeah, that's it. So it's very simple, guys. It's not rocket science. Just you want to let's work together if you need to. Or work together with your labs if you want. But you need to work it. Otherwise.
lab@a.ortho.com.au, and he will.
That's it. We have scanners. We're hooked up on most scanners. 3Shape, Itero, Medit. All you got to do is look for scans instead of lab scans at 8-Ortho, and you have to ask to connect with us. We're not allowed to ask, and we just connect immediately, and that's it. Or you send STL files. Easy. That's all it is. To that email or scans email, whatever you want.
All right. So one of the new services that we're providing is a design service.
Yeah.
So if you want an appliance, but you're not 100% sure on how to design it. The reality is we mostly ask our technicians to design things for us, right? You've got a partial denture. When was the last time you drew a partial denture design? You say, please make me a partial denture. Is what you write on the lab sheet, right? Well, you can't ask that. Please make me a what? Right? He's going to say, what do you want me to make? And you've got to have a design because it's your kid that you're treating and it's your name that's going to be labeled as the treating clinician. So for those who are comfortable with their orthodontic planning and diagnosis and treatment planning, but just want to use widgets, I'm happy to help design things for you. So you send your STL files in or your photos of the models, and you fill out your goals and you fill out, you meet the requirements of a full palette scan, covering the unerupted 6s if it's primary dentition. We're doing removable appliances that want maximum contact to the bone. So you've got to have deep sulcal scanning. And you've got to include the unerupted 6s, especially in the lower arch, because we don't expand the mandible. We're only expanding the mandibular arch. Okay, I'll go through that in more detail, but we're not expanding the mandible, we're expanding mandibular arches, and which means that anything you don't touch doesn't move. So you fill out the form, you fill out your details, and you tick what you want. Right? You've got to figure out what do I want? Do I want to create the crossbite? Do I want to open up space? Do I want to expand transversely? Do I want some more sagittal? Work out what you want. Then figure out what appliance might work best for you. whether it's an active appliance or retainer, and I'll help you design it. Send me a current Panex OPG so I know how long you've got before each tooth falls out, if you don't already know. All right. If you're not sure how much time you have left before that E falls out, send the X-ray and I'll work it out with you. All right. But if you don't send the X-ray, we'll just design it assuming that it's got years left. Because that's only fair, right? Because we're working with a model.
Can you go back to the one before that, before this one? So I want to tell the overseas people. So we see what we have here, read 0 upper. Okay. So Simon will explain that to you, I'm sure, later on, that you need more expansion and the screws run out, right? For the local, all Australian, it's fine. You send me the appliance, I cut it, I reset it like a brand new one, and I use the same screw, read 0 it. For the overseas patients, if you're listening in, you get a brand new appliance because you can't send me an appliance from overseas, right? But I make you a brand new appliance at an adjustment fee, a little bit more than an adjustment fee, but you save a fair bit of money on is if you were to buy a new appliance, okay? Now, I can do the same thing for you guys, right? It's just a little bit more than I do that as a special service. Because you guys support me, and it's got to be from A to Z to use this. So I'd rather you use me instead of your little local L. Can you just read 0 that? So it's just a special service I give you guys. I probably don't make anything on it. I don't care about that. It's not about that. It's about the service that I need to offer you guys, okay, and the responsibility that I have on it. That's all.
So there are appliances that are specific to my protocol that are not normal to orthodontics. Right? Most of you who will expand, one screw is enough, right? Like who needs more than one screw to expand to the limit of what you need? But with me, I get so much more expansion than anyone else. So one screw is not enough. Right? Because I'm not limited by the scissors bite. I can develop the lower arch. Yeah, and why don't I just use a big fat screw down the bottom? Because I don't want to eat up all the tongue space. So I'm prepared to pay more on my end for an extra appliance or an adjustment. So these are the protocols that I teach those who are interested in following my protocols.
For the locals, I would advise you to send me the appliance to read 0 because it's not that expensive to do it. But if you're international, well, that's a different story.
Okay, so that's just the service that we run through Straight Teeth Naturally. So info at Straight Teeth Naturally. So there's a web page that you can link to. Kian, reach out to Kian and he'll help you figure it all out. Yeah, so not a diagnostic service, right? I'm assuming that you're real grown-up doctors who've got a proper degree and are licensed to practice. I'm just here to make sure the appliance that you have works. Okay, so Enrico, normally I would get Kevin, who is the CEO of Dentarum Australia, but he's really sick. So
Kevin Ferrari is the CEO of Dentarum. Why am I interested in Dentarum? Because the appliances you see for 100% Dentarum. So sorry, the appliance you see is 100% Dentarum. That's why I've used a lot of acrylics. Ask Simon. No, that is the best acrylic, my opinion, and I dare say the best acrylic in the world. It's made in Germany. The screws are engineered in Germany. Now, on the lower screw, I do use a fluorescent screw for the small amounts because some people do get, and I was talking to Dr. Eric Davies about this, some people, so the small screws do get a little bit of ulceration while you expand and you need to trim underneath. So you don't, the bulkier the screw, the worse it can get. So for the smaller, we use other type of screws, but it's 100% Dentarum what I use, the wires and stuff, and I've never looked back. And the quality that you use, as Simon, that's going to be part of your your success in all of this.
Yeah, you can't do,
Don't go slim.
you can't do
Don't.
this type of treatment without a good lab.
No, you just don't even go there. Whoever, it doesn't matter, but it has to be great quality. If somebody sells you an expansion appliance, what you've just seen for $150, sorry, I'd question that a bit. Okay, put good quality in the mouth. It's about to show you. Yeah, it's great stuff. And their pliers too, very good. If you buy a pair of pliers from there, it'll last you a lifetime, last you forever. Because I've had mine for 30 years and I use them every day. For wire bending and creating an appliance, you guys just have to adjust. It will last you forever. A couple of $100 will last you forever. Yeah. So. Thank you.
The name Dentarum has stood for outstanding quality, continuous innovation and a high level of reliability for 135 years. Thanks to many years of experience in precision engineering, Dentarum can produce products in high quality detail. All Dentarum expansion screws are produced at the headquarters in Isbringen in Germany using state-of-the-art production techniques. The screws must fulfill strict quality control requirements before they leave the factory. This ensures that the expansion screws all fulfill the high demands required for their use. The first Hyrax screws for rapid palatal expansion have been available since 1968 and have been continuously improved since then. The new Hyrax Neo expansion screw stands out with its minimalistic body design and the alignment of the retention legs parallel to the palatal suture. This design makes it the ideal partner for working with TAD systems, such as Thomas. There are more RPE screws to choose from than ever before. There is the well-known, tried and tested Hyrax screw, the Hyrax click screw with the patented feature which prevents unwanted reversing, and the Hyrax Neo with the new body design. Dentarum has the right RPE screw for you, no matter how you work or which design you prefer. All Hyrax RPE screws are also available without retention arms for the digital workflow.
So the Germans make a good product, and we need good products. Like, we need things to work predictably. And the reason why I included that one was these are used for TAD expansion, RPE expansion. And what people forget is our appliances are so well retained that they act like fixed appliances. So we're utilizing technology that we use to make surgical skeletal corrections to achieve changes that provide the room that we need in children without having to operate on them. So Kevin said that there's an offer for all the orthodontic and restorative appliances. I think we're going to send you guys out a special offer from Dentarum so that if you need supplies, they'll be able to help you out. Okay, so there's a whole world of product out there and you don't know what you need. So hopefully following my protocols, I'll be able to guide you guys into picking the right trays, the right equipment, the right lab, all the things that you need to make the appliance component of it work efficiently and effectively. One of the things that people get hung up with in pricing, okay, this is a really big hurdle for most people, is they don't know how much to charge and they don't know if they're charging too much. That's the biggest fear, I'm charging too much. When you know that you're going to deliver every time, how much is that worth? Like, how much can you charge if you delivered on all your promises? There's no limit, is there? Like, there's no limit on what you would charge if you could deliver on your promises. What if you could deliver on your promises 20% of the time? How much would you charge? See, this is the problem. It's not, I don't know how much to charge. The real problem is, I don't know if I'm going to be able to deliver an outcome that is favorable. But if you know, choosing the monetary value is simple, isn't it? You just work out how much your time is going to take. How much time am I going to take? Well, I've worked that all out over the last 15 years. So if you want, I can teach you how many appointments, how long it takes, how many appliances you're going to use, how to deal with the kid who uses a hammer. Because that's all part of my life. The kid who's lost 3 appliances in 2 weeks. All right, and your life was the kid who uses a hammer. All right, but it's the same problem, isn't it? It's always the same problem. We all live the same lives. The question is, how are we going to manage these issues without the experience of having lived through them? And the answer is, let me help you. Because I've lived them. I know how to deal with them. Because I've spent decades living with them. Don't go through my misery. Well, let me help you be successful all the time. But it also means that you have to pull your head in a little. You can't help everyone. And you shouldn't start most things.
5 minutes to go, let's say.
Okay, so another sponsor that we have today is Spark, Nikki Stockdale. Nikki, would you like to come down and talk a bit about your aligner system? Some of my cases, I will finish with aligners in the late teens, right, when they want a little tidy up. So aligners, fixed braces, it can all be part of your armamentarium.
Hi everyone, my name's Nikki. I'm a New South Wales digital sales specialist for Spark Aligners. Spark is actually manufactured by a company called Ormco with over 60 years of orthodontic research and development in the products. Ormco is known for the Damon bracket system predominantly. Spark became available in Australia in 2017 to orthodontists only. We launched to the general dentist market back in April of last year, provided the GP has met some prerequisites in terms of training and education. It's a very great product in terms of predictability, and it is applied to many different malocclusions. And it is, we believe, is clearer than the competitor out there. It's more comfortable, and edges are much smoother, and there are a few advantages of some inbuilt aligner features that we also have. So I'll leave it for the video and a bit of a testimony from one of our doctors. Thanks.
Thanks, Nikki.
The Spark Aligner system is designed for the needs of orthodontists, giving them more control and flexibility for more predictable and efficient treatment planning.
Hi, I'm Dr. Stuart Frost, and I'm excited to talk to you for just a minute about a new aligner company called Spark. Spark is different. Spark uses modern innovation and technology to get those beautiful outcomes that we all want. We're seeing some of the most amazing outcomes, and I really believe it has to do with their new material called TrueGen.
Spark's TrueGen offers the latest innovation in clear aligner material. It's clearer, more comfortable, and stains less compared to the leading aligner brand. And now, Spark introduces new TrueGen XR. With the same higher sustained force retention, clarity, and stain resistance as TrueGen, new TrueGen XR is a more rigid material option that allows you to progress from a flexible material at the start of treatment to a more rigid material for finishing and refinements. The Spark Aligner system includes our proprietary 3D Approver software. It's designed to put more control and flexibility in your hands to help you deliver on your treatment vision with ease. With Approver software's built-in flexibility, you can specify multiple setups at submission. You can customize attachments, cutouts, hooks, and bite ramps, and see side-by-side photo comparisons. And now you can import and visualize CBCT patient data, which is automatically aligned with the 3D model in the software. Integrated into Spark Aligners, new posterior bite turbos can now be added during treatment planning for more complex cases. And now you can also compare multiple treatment plans more efficiently at the same time. Spark Clear Aligner System, designed for the needs of orthodontists, made for the active lifestyle of today's patients.
Many of my patients that have had the other aligners, they say that the TrueGen is the most comfortable they've ever experienced. I'm excited about that. I'm most excited about the outcomes. We're seeing the most beautiful aligner outcomes in our practice than we ever have.
Spark. More control, more flexibility.
Okay, and then you shall all have the little pamphlet with the range of motion. So this is a really good little ruler gadget that is useful. It was designed originally for TMD, but I use it just to check the TMD health of every child that I see. So, you know, we run, many of you know how to do a TMD evaluation. Do it for the kids as well. You know, make sure their primary care issues are managed, that they've got good gum health, they are decay-free, that they have good diet, check their TMD, check their airways, do all the things that you would do as a real doctor, right?
We often get asked what the difference is between our MyoMate and other measuring tools. So the curved edge that you use for measuring mouth open and tongue to spot and suction tongue opening, the actual curvature is a little bit less bulky, so it doesn't dig in underneath the tongue when you're measuring. So other measuring tools we've used actually poke in underneath the tongue, and it was hurting some of our patients, especially if they've just had a frenectomy. We have included the new indicator measuring on the MyoMate as well, so that's on the pink edge there. Our MyoMates come in a couple of different forms. So we've got one that's paper cards, so these are single use, and these reusable premium ones, they're made out of synthetic card and they actually can be autoclaved as well. So they're really the main differences between the MyoMate and other measuring tools.
The blue side is my favourite side because traditionally the other measuring tools have the short side with the curve. And I was sitting there one afternoon, I was practicing on myself, and I realised that that curve was actually impacting on my frenulum and hurting it, and I don't even have a tongue tie, and I felt sorry for all of those patients who have got a tongue tie. So Cherie and I started to do a little bit of doodling, and we changed the curvature of the curved underside of the tongue measure, and we added it to the long side. So now we have this beautifully nice minimalist curve to the edge of the blue side, and the blue side is what we measure underneath the tongue for tongue elevation of tongue to the spot, tongue elevation with suction so we can get the posterior of the tongue, and this is my favourite side.
So we're up to our third version of the MyoMate. In the last version we have our design registered now and trademarked. So the difference between the second version and the third version is mainly the notch, the length of the notch on the MyoMate. So the new notch is shallower, so it doesn't actually interfere with those patients who have orthodontic brackets on their teeth. So that was a big improvement, and also too, the actual quality of the card is different as well, so it's a lot thicker and a bit more robust. Now I know I'm the co-inventor of the MyoMate, but to tell you the truth, I couldn't actually do without the MyoMate every day in my clinical practice. So I use them for my orthodontic patients, I use them for my myofunctional therapy patients, I use them on my patients with chronic head and neck pain, I use them for the frenectomy patients, I use it for even my general routine dental patients there where I'm doing a wellness exam on them, just to, especially for the children, just to see how the craniofacial growth and development's going, and do I need to refer them on for orthodontic treatment. So every day in my clinic, definitely use my MyoMate.
All right, fantastic. So that is the end of that segment.
All right, terrific. So yes, it is still valid until end of September this year. Let's stop the recording here. It's a meal break.